we are talking about books. Well, one book in particular. Today we are talking about This is a Book for Parents of Gay Kids by the amazing Dannielle Owens-Reid and Kristin Russo. So before we start today, I have a couple of shout outs to give. First to Kristin and Dannielle themselves for writing this book and for running Everyone is Gay, an amazing LGBTQ advice blog. If you haven't checked it out, please do that. And the second shout out is to Maddie over at Autostraddle for giving me the idea for this video. So Maddie sent this book to her dad and her grandmother and interviewed them about it and wrote an amazing piece about it. The link is below. I highly recommend you check it out. And Maddie and Autostraddle, thank you for the idea. So I sent this book to my parents and asked them to read it and give me their thoughts on it. And so right now I am in my family dining room and my mom is gonna come talk to me on screen about what she thought about this book. Okay. Hi Mama, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. She's here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So I have talked to these people a fair amount about like my coming out, however many years ago it was, like 7 or 8 or 100. It feels like 100 now. And the gist that I always give is that like it was kind of a big accident and it was just sort of like, blah, here's this information, do with it what you will. I have probably warped what actually happened in my brain and in my memory over time. So what is your recollection of how you found out that you had a super gay kid?
You were going to Pride.
I was.
I was like, we said, so why are you going? And you said, well, because I'm gay. And you close the door. And, you go, and I'm not sure we took you seriously, honestly. And it was like, okay, cool. And truth be told, you didn't have a boyfriend. And
I did.
So it was very confusing, I would say.
Oh, I said bi. I didn't say gay. This is another series of videos, but yeah.
Yes, but then I'm not sure you actually said bi. Or maybe you didn't.
I think I did, but maybe I didn't.
Which brings us to the book, which is what the book tells us. And what we didn't do is the book says it's okay to ask questions. Mm-hmm. And I think when you did come out, we wanted to be great parents. So it was like, hooray, that's great. And let's pretend like everything's, I don't want to say normal because everything is normal, but like it was not a big deal.
Right.
So we acted like it was no big deal.
Even though it kind of was?
And, it was not a major deal, but it was a bit of, it was a deal. But
it was a deal.
It was a deal. As parents, you don't want to mess your kids up, so it's like, okay, we're not gonna, push. If she's not, coming forward, we're just gonna stay where we are and wait.
So why do you think you didn't ask questions?
I think we didn't want to disrupt your well-being, basically. It's like when you have teenagers, you're still fairly young, and I think parents of teenagers don't want to break the balance. And this is, again, where the book says it's okay to ask questions, and the book tells parents it's okay to, not be totally in right away and to, give yourself time to process and realize that, parents are also coming out in a way. Mm-hmm. And I love that when it says that, your kid comes out, but you have to come out as a parent of a gay child.
So I want to ask you, what were the important parts that you flagged? What did you take most from it? Okay,
well, as I open the book and move forward, I flagged this beautiful sentence, which is, let your children teach you who they are as they invite you to join in the discovery of their becoming. And I think that's for every parent, not just parents of gay kids, but I think all parents, at some point when your child's a teenager, you realize that your child is not who you thought they were or who you expected them to be. Mm-hmm. You have to discover your child as a human being,
right?
And rejoice in it. And it's wonderful, but it's a process again. I keep saying process.
No,
I think that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something that's predictable, get a dog, but raise a child, it's like, nobody knows who your child is going to be.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
That's smart.
But it's a lesson for parents also, because I don't think you know that when you have an infant and a child.
Right.
So, you think you know them because you made them.
Yeah.
Like,
I keep coming back to this also because I think it's fascinating. So did you guys really not have any clues about me whatsoever?
None whatsoever.
That's hilarious.
Which is why, we should really talk. This is funny.
We're talking right now.
In the questions, it's like, well, I wanted to ask, well, when did you know? When, how did it come up and everything? And I don't know. And I think when one is surprised, one overcompensates by saying, oh, that's great.
It's great,
yeah. We have no questions, it's perfectly fine because
yeah.
we're so surprised. It's like, oh.
Right. Cool, that's always fascinated me. You can flip to the next part now.
You don't want to answer my question?
Oh, what, you want me to answer the question?
Well, might as well.
Okay, when did I know? I think I like had figured something out when I was 12.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was something that everyone did. I was like, I assume that this is just like what everybody goes through. So I like knew something was up by 12. I never planned on telling you guys. I was like, nope, I got it. Like, I'm lucky, I'm bi, I don't have to ever bring this up. I'm just gonna never pay attention to that side of me, because I was sure that.
That's so sad.
I know, isn't it?
Oh. See, I mean, I'm glad you did, but that's what's hard as a parent, because there's a guilt of, you were not a happy 12-year-old, and you know that you were not even a happy 10-year-old. And so looking back, it's like, well, did we miss something? Should we have known?
Yeah.
Was that bothering you? But
answer that question.
Okay.
If you have more of them that Linda said you should ask, you're welcome to.
That was a big one.
Okay. So,
would you like to know what else I enjoyed in the book?
I would love to know what else you enjoyed in the book. So many sticky notes.
A lot of things are good, but I didn't touch me personally. The chapter that did was telling others, because I think that is really important, and I like that the book acknowledges that that's part of the parent's journey. My first reaction, which you probably don't know, and it's funny, was I was like, oh my god, what will the neighbors think? Which is hilarious, and I carried that around for like 24 hours. And then I was like, I don't give a hoot. I was like, so, I like that the book kind of, validated that and said it's okay to think that way. You're not a bad person because you think, ooh, world of appearances and stuff,
Did you feel like a bad person when you had after that 24-hour period?
Yes, exactly.
You did?
I was like, why am I thinking that? Because if that was, and then I was like, well, if that's my only problem, really, I have no problem. I think it's because at first it's such a big deal to the parent that they think it's a major deal to the world, and it's not. And now I can, yoga teacher asked me if you guys will bring significant others, and I said, yes, my daughter's bringing her girlfriend, and she said, that's wonderful. And it's like, okay, that's how things should be.
Yeah.
But at first, the first, few months, it's like, what are people going to say? I said, there's no issue. Yeah, exactly. It's like, good for you, you're lucky.
I am.
So,
very much so.
And, we are lucky also.
Yeah.
I thought that was really an interesting book, an interesting chapter on telling people, and it made me feel guilty that I told Grandma, because I shouldn't have.
It's okay. I think it was a good way to work it out, though.
If we had talked about it, if we had read the book, if we had said, okay, when are you ready? Because you never said anything. And it was like, it had been going on for quite a while. And she was pestering me about boyfriends. So again, I took the casual approach of, oh, well, she has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
As if it was no big deal, as if it was not big news. And maybe one shouldn't do that. And maybe one should have a talk first and say, okay, we're going to tell these people, do you want to tell them and stuff?
Okay.
So I think that's why that chapter spoke to me.
I see two more sticky notes.
Okay, let's see. It's about not labeling your child after they come out to you, and not saying, okay, now they can't do this anymore, they're not going to like that. And it's like, the book tells you, again, let your child be who they are. For instance, and the kid says coming out didn't change who I was as a person. And I'm sure some people would start treating their kid differently. For parents, it's a new thing, whereas for the kid, it's been a work in progress. And so the parents might think, okay, so now you're a new person, but you're not. You're the same person that you were all along.
Right.
We just didn't know everything about that person. I like the phrase, don't make your kids feel that you're judging them based on their sexuality. Leave them the space to surprise you. And it always comes back to the idea of, discover who your child is as a human being.
Yeah.
Don't decide. And that's what it comes down to. And that's, really the conclusion of the book is every situation is going to be different. And the one thing you can do is, love your child, be supportive, and say, we're here for you. And that's really what it's about.
So who do you think should read this book besides just parents of gay kids?
Well, I don't know if parents of non-gay kids would pick it up, although it's a great book on parenting.
Yeah.
I think it would be, I think it should be in every high school library for a kid to pick up before it comes out to their parents, actually.
Yeah.
Because you could say, I know you're going to have questions, this will help, this will open dialogue. And the book, recognizes that parents are going to worry. And it's out of love that parents say, well, it would be easier if you weren't. We don't want you to get hurt. We want your life to be easy. We want your life to be joyous. But we can help you get there and be who you are. And I think that's a good thing.
All right, give me a hug. Thank you for
Don't
being
I
on camera with
love
me.
you.
I love you too. You're great.
No, you are great.
So,
Read the
thank you. Read the book. Thank you, Dannielle and Kristin, for writing this. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for
My
watching.
pleasure.
Subscribe, follow, like, do all those things, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.